My orders included as well. Solid.
Perfect. Well, hello everybody, and good evening to all of you. We are here for round 5 of the Artemis Esports Championship Tier S, and we are into our second segment of the season following our first break, and we are here at the beautiful Silverstone circuit. Alongside me for this evening, Josie F1, is Lennon, the biggest York City fan in the world, obviously. But we've had a bit of a shake-up because Tom is off doing placements now on Thursday. So welcome along. Good to have you here.
Yes, it's good to be here. The York City comment. I mean, we're not that big of a club, so it's not very hard to be the biggest supporter of it. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be commentating at the pinnacle of AEC. So yeah, really looking forward to some good racing today.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic season so far, and hopefully it does continue here this evening. We are about to get going. We're just waiting on Ali Ferrari to either buy his Xbox Live Gold or the drivers to ready up, and we'll sort of start without him, that sort of thing. But just quickly running through the championship then, NRX lead the way, followed by Paradox Sim Racing, Bunga Racing Team up into P3. We'll get talking about those shortly. Visceral Racing in P4, followed by Future Racing Team, Valor Esports, Summit League Racing Team, Novus Racing, no longer with us, of course, False Group Esports, and Total Impact Racing. Rock bottom at the moment. We've got Shazoo entering as well, so we've got a few new faces down the bottom of our championship. We are now getting going. Fingers crossed it stays nice and dry, because it could get quite chaotic out there. Full throttle for about 70% of the lap. It will be very difficult if it is, and lo and behold, it is a dry qualifying, Lennon.
Yeah, that's always good for the drivers to set themselves up nicely, ready for the race ahead. But usually with the rain, it does make it a little bit interesting, a little bit of a shake-up in the grid. But we're going to see the drivers at their best here.
Yeah, absolutely. And just quickly then, looking at some of the forms up and down the grid. I mean, Rusty, racing for a 5th consecutive race, has taken 2 wins and 2 third-place finishes. It is going to be very hard to beat him tonight. But of course, going back just a couple of days, I was watching I was commentating the World Online Racing Legacy Division, and it unfolded quite quickly for Rusty, unfortunately, and the likes of Skither and, of course, Kai, Levi as well. We're all going to be able to capitalise on maybe a mistake or two from him, but overall, can you really see anybody beating Rusty?
I don't know. It's going to be very close. It's going to be very close. But obviously, Rusty's got the lead at the moment, so he'll be wanting to keep that at the top, won't he? So.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are starting to hear our first cars heading out onto the track. It is sprint race week, everybody. It's our first of 2 this season. Our second one will be in Monza following the second break week. But it does mean that drivers might prioritise a little bit more of a racy setup, because they've got 9 laps to recover if they have a bad qualifying this evening. Of course, the points on offer is also a big incentive to go out there and try and do well in both races. I'm not quite sure of the sprint points. I'll try and get those up in a moment for you, but without a doubt, this is going to be a highly competitive race. Could go to anybody, really. So McCabe Sam first up then, and racing for the Visceral outfit, currently 4th in the championship. As I have mentioned, they've taken a couple of wins this season already, courtesy of Smokey, now of course of PSR, that feels like a long time ago, and of course Choco A lot has changed since then, but in alternating rounds, they've been able to go on and take the win. So the statistics are saying that it could be a VSR win, sorry. Also looking like Rusty could be finishing third based on statistics, but we won't read too much into that. McCabe Sam then into Village, turn number 3 as he makes his way through the loop now, the first real technical bit of track, and on the exit using all of the curb just to try and optimise the racing line through entry and onto the Wellington straight where he's got to pick out his braking zone for Brooklands just after the 50-metre board, chucking it in nice and early. The track just sort of gives way on the apex, and now through Luffield, again a tricky traction zone, holding it in 5th gear, getting right out to the apex, maximising the amount of track available to him. Next up, Copse Corner, just after the 50-metre board, throwing in almost a cut on the inside, but he just about gets it spot on. Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel up next, and there's a fair bit of traffic up the road, but I don't think he'll be catching those up unless they start to back off and give each other some room. It could be a tricky final sector ahead for McCabe Sam, who is going to lay down the benchmark unless he invalidates on the exit of Stowe. So easy to do. Turn in as the curb starts on the left-hand side. Little bit of understeer through the corner. And here is the traffic, and there's a Ferrari on the apex! Oh, he's hit him! Oh, it's a disaster early on here. Get off the racing line is all I've got to say for that one. But McCabe Sam crosses the line and is a pretty lacklustre 28.0 as a result of that. Joe Murphy for the high-flying Booger Racing team goes and smashes it. What do you make of that instant, Lennon?
Yeah, don't really know what the Ferrari was doing there, but McCabe Sam will not be happy with that, and I think there might be a few words in the Discord.
Yeah, it can be anything up to a qualifying ban, really. For instance, like that. I mean, the contact obviously caused, if you like, by McCabe Sam, but there's nothing he could have done. He's on a qualifying lap. He's trying to fly through the corner, and lo and behold, there's a Ferrari on the racing line. And Skither, fastest now, quickly beaten by NRX Levi, one of the home heroes here this evening. Just 14 thousandths of a second in it at the top at what is always a very competitive Silverstone. And I did just want to mention JH, who's currently last on the timing screens, but he is on a flying lap at the moment, which is staying valid. Didn't get the opportunity to qualify around here in the World Online Racing Legacy Division, WILD for short, on Tuesday night. He was stuck at the loop. Fortunately, was able to get back in for the race. So we've got a spinner there. It's now for Tari, who's off the track, which may well have been VSR Egger, because McCabe Sam's obviously already posted his lap. JH up into 11. Ogween has crossed the line and gone 8th. But so far, it's, as we'd expect, really, NRX leading the way ahead of their championship rivals PSR. TVA Allison doing a marvellous job as well, already on the second row provisionally. When he does race, he is always a threat to the drivers out there, though he isn't really, I wouldn't say a tournament regular. I mean, you see the likes of Skither, Rusty, they'll race pretty much every week. But you can always rely on Allison to do a really, really good job. Elite Risks has invalidated this particular lap. Egger is going again here, 3.5 seconds down though, so this one won't be particularly meaningful. Smeggy on an in lap as well, as most drivers are making their way back into the pit lane. Of course, you do get one less set of soft tyres, I believe, because of the mediums that are available to you in the sprint. So qualifying, of course, won't decide pole position, which continues to be a very unique factor about these sprint races. Good evening, Tom. Good to see you in the live chat. Thank you for handing me the keys. Indirectly, of course, but yeah, we'll be fine, I hope, unless I don't disconnect the lobby again and cause major desync. But it is what it is. We found the right Spain results in the end in a race that had Bunga Racing Team as the big talking point. Furious finishing P2, just 8/10 off the win at the end, and then Joe Murphy holding on to a brilliant 4th place. Bunga Racing Team have yet to finish lower than 6th. Have not had a car lower than 6th so far in AEC TRS. What do you make of their fast start, and would you consider them as championship contenders, Lennon?
Yeah, I mean, I've just read the Discord and seen that they think I'm muted. No, I'm just admiring Joseph talking on, because he's a stat master in all this. I'm just the guy who's
Here.
sort of, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just here. I'm just here, so Joseph's not on his own. But yeah, I mean, they're doing well. They're doing well. They're really mounting charge towards the top now. So they'll be hoping to get a very good result here, and you know, potentially fight for that win.
Yeah, absolutely. We love you too, Noah, and don't worry, I won't lose the keys. I've never lost keys in my life. That might be a lie, actually. However, it's good to see Ali Ferrari now back in the session. Hopefully he's got his setup loaded and everything okay. To think he was, you know, without Xbox Live 10 minutes ago, that would have been a big problem because he wouldn't have been able to race. Great Michael Owen analysis there. But Ali Ferrari is going to get his first lap on the board very, very shortly as he makes his way through Chapel and onto the DRS zone where he's got an Aston Martin who... Oh my word! Can we stop getting close in the final sector? Oh, Ali Ferrari was very, very close to that Aston Martin, getting every single bit of slipstream available to him. Into Vale now, and third up into 4th, riding a little bit of the sausage curb on the inside, all the way out to the outside. That's a Ferrari who spun around. That almost puts the Haas driver off, and Ali Ferrari goes up into P10. His teammate Smeggy, who operates in more of a management role nowadays, sitting in 16th. I don't think he was particularly confident about the late call-up, but we'll soon see what he can do, obviously. Points go down, of course, to P14. Or is it 15? I'm just an idiot, really. But Smeggy will be hoping he can at least get some on the board for Shazoo. Because, of course, well, they haven't got any. Quite frankly, we're going to stick on board with him here as he makes his way into Village. Oh, he's wide. You could just see maybe a bit of lack of confidence coming in there. But around the loop and onto Aintree. And DRS wide open then for Smeggy. He's got a bit of clear track ahead of him, but it doesn't really mean anything because if we just tune in to what these two are doing, and bloody hell, they're parked on the inside of Cops. Which as a Mercedes you don't want to be doing. Oh look, there's a Red Bull coming through. It's FG Flow. Fortunately you slowed down on this particular lap. But yeah, that could have been a risky one for Ogween and Sasha Andre. Let's go back to Smeggy then. And this one has now been aborted. Unfortunately, Elite Risks now out there. AMS Optical, another invalidated lap for him. 2 drivers still yet to get a time on the board as Skither continues to lead us away as he so often does. 26.450 now the benchmark. NRX Levi will be up next, and he's sadly 6/10 down. PSR Kai has a wobble coming out of Luffield, and that was certainly on a flying lap. And this one now will not be too representative for PSR Kai. TVA Allison on a flying lap, I believe, as well as he makes his way into Cops. No, this is certainly an in lap now for Allison. Joe Murphy on his way in as well. But NRX Rusty, our championship leader by a grand total of, hang on, let me guess, because I can't see it at the moment, 43? It was 40. Okay, that should have been so much easier to remember. It's 40 points that NRX Rusty leads us away by. It's his championship, it's his nearest championship rival up there at the top at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like he's slightly running away with it now, isn't he? But a bad result for him today really could see drivers behind him really close that gap now.
Yeah, 30 points on offer for a win. It's, you know, a win, and you've almost fully closed the gap. Even from back there.
Oh, there we go. So it's 10 points for the sprint race win as well. So
oh, okay.
That's a maximum of 40 you can get today. So we could see a joint top if Rusty doesn't get any points at all, which I really can't see happening.
We'll soon see. It still could all change following this evening, more so in the teams championship rather than anything else. 29 points the gap between NRX and PSR, and then it's 2 further points back to BRT and 3 points back to VSR. So we could see a massive, massive shake-up this evening, and we're all for a bit of a shake-up. It's happened in the commentary box. Why can't it happen on the racetrack? Rev Caterpillar out there at the moment, just having a little bit of a wander. Smeggy is out there as well. Is this a lap that's going to count? Yes, it is. And Smeggy up into P16, just pipping JH there by the skin of it. Oh, he spun for good measure. That is some spin through Abbey. His tyres must have been screaming following that high-intensity lap.
He definitely meant that. He's having a little celebration.
He knew he was on the stream. He knew he was on the stream. Ah yes, I now see the sprint points. So to confirm, it's 10th through 1 from 1st to 10th. So that's going to be fairly easy to remember. So a team can allocate themselves up to 19 points for the sprint race. So we're heading on to our final runs then. If the clock wants to show, we'll see how much exactly we've got left. Does it want to, or is Smeggy just on the yellow flag tour?
Gear, so.
Come on! He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Anyway, let's see who's first up. It's NRX Rusty then, hoping to try and turn his fortunes in qualifying. Try and get himself onto or around the front row for the all-important sprint race. Rounding the final corner then, and away he goes. PSR Kai will follow in very, very shortly, and then it's Joey in behind. Smeggy pulling into the pit lane, so we see 2 of the top 8 complete their lap times first. Smeggy now retiring from the session. That is his qualifying session over, and around the loop goes Rusty. DRS open imminently. There it is. How much time has he gained in the first sector, and how much will he need to gain in the next 2? It's a 10th. Just, what, 2 more to go then? And then he's got a really good chance of matching or even beating Skither for this pole position. Round Luffield then, and there's a McLaren on his left. That is Skither, who will surely be lending a helping hand here to PSR Kai as he gets moving again very, very quickly. And there's a Williams to come, and that is his teammate Levi, currently up in P2, and the man that Rusty will return the favour to on his next lap, through Maggots, through Beckett's, and onto Chapel we go then, and there is Levi, ready to give that all-important slipstream. Now 3/10 up, this could be it, you know, for NRX Rusty to take yet another pole position in the Artemis Esports Championship. Into Stowe he goes then, 6th gear, just about getting the car in there, nicely balanced on the rear. Into Vale then, small lock up on the front, little bit wide through the penultimate corner, and now Rusty to cross the line. He's done it by over, almost 3/10 of a second, and it's a 5-place grid penalty. Skither has collided with NRX Levi, and surely I've not seen it. I've not seen it.
All I've seen is the yellow flags, and Levi's going slowly, and then all of a sudden Skivers just stopped right next to him. So I feel like
Oh,
potentially Levi's been sat there and Skivers gone into him, which is resulting
wow.
in Skiver getting a 5-place grid penalty.
I don't quite know what to say, but Skither with damage is not going to be able to get a lap time here. Kai did go up into P2 with a 26.4. It was nowhere near enough to beat Rusty, of course, and now Levi, who's just been involved in that altercation, is on his way towards Cops. I believe without damage, we'll soon see. No, that looked really planted to me, and Rusty is still there to return the favour.
Oh.
But he's got to be careful not to give any dirty air through Maggots, Beckett's, and Shapley flashes away Rusty. But that ERS will soon go on to give himself the best possible top speed for Levi to try and slipstream and benefit off. He's down though, is Levi, so this slipstream has got to count. Can NRX make it a front row lockout? Huge drama at the end of qualifying here. Levi with just 3 more corners to go into the left. Fourth gear, he misses the apex slightly in comparison to his teammate. Rusty's off the track, and it won't be a front row lockout for NRX unless he had a miracle exit. He didn't, and PSR will be the filling in the sandwich. McCabe Sam's still going. He's 4/1000ths of a second down. He can still spoil the PSR and NRX party out in front. It looks fairly exclusive at the moment, but we know what McCabe Sam is capable of, particularly around here at another driver's home venue here in Silverstone. Into the final couple of corners then. 4th gear and 5th gear through the right, up into 6th to complete the lap and go second. What a lap by McCabe Sam to indeed spoil the party and relegate PSR to a mere 2nd row start between them. BRT, who have gone so well recently, furious with gravel on his front right tyre, so he might have had an off on this particular lap. JH has had a spin as well. He was half a second up through the 2nd sector, but he crosses the line with a 45.4. What a dramatic end to qualifying. Contact between the top 2 teams in the championship. Rusty taking pole, going for a 3rd win this season, Lennon.
Yeah, and just looking in the Discord now to see what's gone off between them two. By the sounds of it, Skivers on his lap, obviously, and I think Levi was just warming up his tyres and has weaved back onto the racing line by the sounds of it, and obviously Skivers gone into him. That's what I'm hearing from Skiver anyway, but if we don't see the clips, obviously, we don't know exactly what's happened.
Yep, obviously a restart being requested because of the 5-place grid penalty, and it would be something they like to appeal because, well, both of them have got 5-place grid penalties.
We haven't seen anything, so we can't really restart it, can we?
I've not got stream evidence because it happened right as Rusty crossed the line. I mean, it's level game.
It's not really our call, is it? 'Cause neither of us are admins.
I will grab.
Yeah, I feel like JT is probably the best person to talk to here.
Because both of them have got the grid penalties, it's sort of, well,
from
suck it up and get on with it.
Frisbee, it's a full wet sprint and dry race.
Loveland saying it isn't.
Did it?
You know, Crispy's a bit of a
does it? Right, so I agree with Connor. If they've both
no
got
restart.
a grid penalty, then okay. Right, no restart. Okay.
Confirm no restart, and it is bloody pissing it down. I couldn't put that any clearer, to be honest. It is prime Silverstone weather. We're gonna see Brexit tackles flying in all over.
Right, we've got a clip. I'll have a watch of it now.
Yeah, I'm going to take a look as well. We'll sort of describe to you what happened because.
Right, so obviously Skivers on his lap. By the looks of it, I think. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know about that.
Skither going too quickly and Levi going too slowly? I mean,
I've a rewatch now, but it's
it's
a bit bad,
I
isn't it?
don't.
I mean, you see
Yeah,
the red arrows, you've got a track map, mate. Like, seriously, you know there's a car coming. So I'd argue that is essentially Levi's fault because he has got a map.
aren't they both on outlaps though? Both
I
of them
mean,
were out of sync with their teammate. So if Skither was on an outlap, he should be backing off at that point.
yeah. Yeah, Skipper isn't on outlap, so I don't know why he's going full speed like that.
Gentlemen's agreement or whatnot. It'll be a busy argument. Quibalda highlights the word miscommunication. I think that's all it is. So easy to do in qualifying when you're both after your teammate's slipstream when they're both in front of you by, you've got to time it perfectly. And if yeah, that's just my thought on that one. It will go down to the stewards, and it will go between the managers. It'll be a bit of a ding-dong. Beyond the flag, I followed your guide on how to make my push mower an absolute beast, and now it is out of control, and hit a kid on his bike. I think his name is Timmy. Does this make me a top G? I've never seen a Twitch
if you describe
comment
yourself
quite
as
like
top
it.
G, you're an arsehole. That's all I'm saying.
I have power on this, because I'm on the account. Can I get rid?
Get rid.
I don't know. Get rid.
Get rid.
Gift a sub. Yeah, we'll do that. Anyway, we're a few seconds away from a full
Dan's
wet
money.
sprint race at Silverstone. On come the lights. Full wets on all 20 cars. And it's a drive-through penalty for both Levi, Optical and Rusty. Both NRX drivers with drive-throughs. Unbelievable scenes on the opening lap at Silverstone. Levi has got extremely wide. What on earth is going on in AEC this evening? McCabe Sam, the net leader of the race. Skither tried to get a double switchback on both Kai, his teammates, and McCabe Sam, but he can't quite do it. McCabe Sam leading us away then provisionally. Drive-throughs, if you've just missed it, for both NRX drivers. Wheel to wheel between the two TV8 boys, Mogween and Allison. Rule number one in Formula 1, don't come together with your teammate, and PSR will be hoping for the same as well. I don't think I've ever commentated a start quite like it, where two teammates have come away from the start, both with drive-throughs.
Yeah, it's absolutely mental. All I've seen there, obviously I've jumped down the grid to watch from the middle, and all I've seen really is the jumps, and then coming out of turn 2 or 3, a spinning Ferrari across the track, and now Joey is in the side of the track causing the yellow flags. I don't know what's happened there.
Yep, certainly a bit of carnage further back, and Allison and Elite Risks. Elite Risks who's had a very good start here. Well, he's actually down a position, but he's managed to keep out of trouble. Furious, though, is pretty much level with where he started. Ali Ferrari, though, looking to make up a 5th position, though at this moment in time he has a 5-second penalty. Goodness knows what for, but both drivers going wide. Ali Ferrari having a snap midway through the corner. I'm not surprised, considering he was well onto that rumble strip where there's clearly an absence of grip contact. Flo has hit Elite Risks, but meanwhile Skither is up ahead of McCabe Sam now. AMS Optical, a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane while serving a drive-through. An absolute disaster for Optical. But meanwhile, PSR Kai is looking to try and score PSR 19 points this evening, because Levi and Rusty will go straight down the order and score nothing in this sprint race as it stands. Flo and FRT Rain going at it. FRT Rain has a snap through the mid-corner. He has 2 snaps, and FG Flo is crowded off the track. Down the inside goes JH in a race that SLRT are trying to recover here after their start, but biggest gainers so far, Sasha Andre, Ali Ferrari, both up 4. Biggest loser is obviously Elite Risks, and then TVA Allison, the key loser out of that. VSR Egger up a position to P6. He's in a really good position here to try and take it to PSR. It's now PSR versus VSR. NRX, see you later.
Yeah, I mean, them drive-through penalties are really going to affect NRX ready for this full race, but I don't know really what's gone on there between the both of them, or just both misjudging it really, and unfortunately, both got drive-through penalties now.
Yep, again, not something you can predict when you're thrown into the deep end like this, but PSR Kai looks like he's well on his way. Levi takes his drive through on lap 2. Rusty now has to complete it on lap 3. This is a completely non-negotiable scenario. You can't go and hound the race director saying, get it off. It is quite literally, if you jump, you jump.
Obviously, Levi in the pit now, he's dropped all the way to the back of the grid now.
And that is where Rusty will fall to as well. So, as it stands, our order: Skither, McCabe, Sam, Kai and Egger. Ogween up into P6, followed by the two BRT drivers who qualified 10th and 11th, are now up into 7th and 8th and continue their fine point-scoring form at this moment in time. And it will give them a really good chance of continuing that top 6 streak in the race. That's a snap for Kai. That went so close to a full spin, and down the inside, around the outside is Furious. Joe Murphy on the inside yielding to that one. Furious thinking he has the better wet pace at the moment, so he'll go and try and attack Ogween. Maybe VSR Egger as well, who's up there. A spin further back for Smeggy, and I've read as well that Joey, it's his first no assist race, so he's going to be struggling a little bit out there for FGE. In the full wet conditions, you can't really blame him.
No, you can't. I mean, as Rusty has a bit of a snap and another one again. But he is coming to the pits, obviously. But yeah, when it's your first race on no assists, you are going to struggle quite a bit. So, I mean, we can give a bit of leeway for Joey tonight, then, can't we?
Absolutely. Rusty into the pit lane. What a miserable sight for NRX. Both of their drivers drive straight past them on the virtual pit wall.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't going to go too well for Rusty in his championship charge either, is it? I mean, now he's sat where he's not going to pick up any points, and Skivers at the top picking up 10, which is going to close down Rusty's gap at the top to 30 points now.
Got a spinner. It's Allison, who had a really good start to this race, is now down into P13. I believe he was battling away with Ali Ferrari, who has a 5-second penalty, as does AMS Optical early doors here. But Allison now down into P13 and has to climb Mount Everest to try and score some points. Ali Ferrari making another move after being a latecomer to this evening's qualifying session, making it count though in the sprint. In the sprint race, but he does have that 5-second penalty, so Rev Caterpillar shouldn't be too concerned.
No, obviously he's done quite well considering he joined quite late, so. Yeah, he's up there in P9 now, so he'll be hoping that he can maybe pick up a few more points, but obviously with that 5-second penalty, it's not going to help, is it?
Absolutely right there, and Furious, here he comes. Will he try and go for the move? No, he doesn't, but Ogween is wide, and Furious darts to the inside. He's got a brilliant exit, does the Bunga Racing Team man, and Ogween has no choice but to yield. Bunga Racing Team just keep on impressing in the Artemis Esports Championship. VSR Egger keeps impressing on a general basis. Doesn't stop smiling, but just keeps on making moves, and this could be his latest.
Yeah, as he's coming up to Kai now, really closing now as Joey picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Really closing on Kai now, so Kai will be hoping that he doesn't make any mistakes here as Egger's right on the back of him. He makes one mistake and Egger's flying straight through into a podium position as he makes a little mistake there. And Egger is on him with ERS flowing through that Alpha Tauri. Can he make the move? It's a bit too far back to make any move at all there.
Yeah, it's 40% playing 100% in terms of battery. Egger has saved up his ERS brilliantly, and as the track just continues to perhaps improve as the water gets shifted off the racing line and drivers build momentum here. Egger quite cautious into Copse. He is going to have a real good go towards the end of this race. McCabe Sam a long way up the road. PSR Kai, a huge gap in front of 2.5 seconds. Same gap can be applied to McCabe Sam and Skither, also 2.5 seconds at this moment in time. He's got to be careful though, Egger, because Furious is absolutely flying, and if he doesn't make the move quickly, Furious will be straight onto him like a dog in a park chasing a ball, and whatever other analogy you want to apply to this situation. As Joey seems to have had another spin. I noticed that Rev Caterpillar had a slide through the first corner as he looks to be making an overtake here, and he has got past FGE Flow, so still Rev Caterpillar on for a singular point in this evening's sprint race. JH now the latest to go around. Conditions. Oh, and never mind, Joey's around again. Can really tell he's struggling with this first no assist appearance, but maybe starting last he'll be able to get out of the carnage on the opening lap when it comes to the Grand Prix. And FRT Rain has had a spin through Aintree. It's a difficult traction zone because you're turning the wheel. It's a corner you're applying your throttle to. And FRT Rain has been caught out. And down he goes to P16. He promotes his teammate Rev Caterpillar up a position. That'll be P9 on the road as it stands. Meanwhile, back to the battle between VSR Egger and PSR Kai as they make their way down the hangar straight.
It's more Egger and Furious now, because Furious really waiting for his moment to pounce. And I feel like he's going to get it soon because Egger's losing a fair bit of time to Kai now. And Furious is reeling him in like a fish on a fishing line. Getting very close now. And obviously, lack of DRS due to the wet weather. We're not going to be seeing any DRS open at all in this sprint race. That now has 3 laps left to go. Obviously, we've got 7, 8, and 9, so it is 3. I'm not that stupid, so. Furious, really hoping that he can catch up to Egger here, but you look at both of them, they've both got fairly similar ERS as Furious. Had a little snap back there. Has lost a little bit of time, but not a lot. And
oh, he's wide!
Egger wide,
oh.
And he's really catching him here. And Furious is going to try go around the outside, but he just can't make that move happen. But Furious had his moment there to do it. He just couldn't get it done.
It's the moment where you really want to capitalise as a driver, but they won't want to take too much of a risk. They've made brilliant progress so far. Have BRT, and Joe Murphy could get into the top 6 here as Ogween has dropped off a little bit. This is going to go right down to the wire. It's a medal you get in the sprint race, isn't it, rather than a podium, so to speak. He'll get one of those crypto medals if he makes the move here, VSR Egger. Not that he wants a crypto medal, but he might do.
Yeah, you never know. You never know in this day and age.
He could be a trader in disguise, and he sells off all of his Dogecoin. As Levi, who's trying to make moves at the moment. If you're just tuning in this evening, both NRX drivers jumping the start. Yep, you heard that correctly. And they're now down in 13th and 15th place respectively. The other Williams just up the road. Elite risks in between both of them, which I don't imagine he would have thought about really when we started the race and how high they qualified.
Getting very close between Egger and Furious now. He's really catching him now. In fact, we could
Here he
maybe
goes!
see him as what's
And that's a ghosted Red Bull in the way. That's Joey. Should probably yield. He shouldn't really be inside cars at this stage. Penalty for elite risks further back. He does now start to get out of the way. He's got to be careful not to cause yellow flags and prevent a battle from happening. He's out of the way, and Furious, you have to say, looks the most likely to make a move here. Yellow flag further back. That looks like it's for a Hasp. He's gotten going again. ERS, it's pretty much unlimited usage because you save so much from your extended braking zones in the wet conditions. Just neither able to get it done, which just proves... Oh, Egger! Huge slide coming out of Stowe. I was just about to say how drivers rely so much on DRS in the dry. Contact from right end plate to VSR Egger's left rear tyre. That almost ended in tears, but Furious continues to recognise the danger of running side by side for a sustained period of time. Through Abbey turn 1 then, spray kicking up from the rear tyres of Egger. So difficult to see where the car is in front of you. The rain really hasn't eased off on what is now our 9th and final lap of our first sprint race of the season.
Yeah, it's fair play to Furious there for backing out of that move. He could have easily just tried to push his way through and could have seen the end of Egger's chance of points here. But fair play to Furious, he's kept it clean and really kept this battle going.
He has indeed, and Egger looks to have just lost momentum. Furious putting him under a massive amount of pressure, but he needs to just not crack, basically. 4th place would be a terrific qualifying to add to the 2nd place that McCabe Sam is about to secure. Furious, though, has dropped off through Luffield and onto Copse Corner. Egger should have it secured. Kai has just enough ERS to defend. They're using it quite late on here, as you can use so much in the wet conditions. But meanwhile, Skither further forward is making his way now down into Stowe. He's seen off the NRX duo, who both picked up drive-throughs on the opening lap. He has conquered this race. It's been a terrific performance, but there's still 26 more laps to come when we get to the Grand Prix. But round to the final couple of corners then, Skither is your sprint race winner, adding 10 points to the tally of PSR. McCabe Sam will cross the line, adding 9 more to the tally of VSR, and PSR Kai holds on to take 3rd place with a huge slide. He does it in style. VSR Egger, followed by Furious, Ogween and Joe Murphy, followed by Sasha. Ali Ferrari, who picks up a 3-second time penalty. He'll be pushed down to P11. Means Rev Caterpillar and FGE Flow pick up the points in the sprint race. No points for NRX, and all 3 teams that are so tightly compacted into the standings behind them all score huge points in the sprint.
Yeah, and obviously, speaking on Skither's part here, he's won the sprint race and closed Rusty's gap down to just 30 points, so Skither could well match Rusty here if he does pick up no points in this full race, and could really see a very good battle going into the next race.
So the gap now is 11 points at the top of the championship between NRX and PSR. That is how valuable that haul is, and how much NRX will deeply regret this if they come to lose the title by 18 points at the end of the season. It's as simple as that, really. And thank you to B Hill, because I forgot that the penalties were applied to the Grand Prix.
Oh yeah.
So our pole sitter is McCabe Sam.
So that means Skither's P6 then.
Yes, but I think he still gets merited the 10 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go then. So the championship is the same. It's just a little bit harder for Skither to go on and take the win now, because he led superbly through that one. That is how wet it is, and in just a few moments' time you'll see how completely dry it is. What a difference a day makes at Silverstone. Just a normal day in England. One day completely chucking it down. I bet you it's lovely blue sky. Oh, who would have thought? Lovely blue sky. Yep, Ali Ferrari has submitted a clip. Apparently getting a severe collision, for brushing Rev Caterpillar. That's quite impressive how Codemasters have seen that and gone, yeah, 5-second penalty. Let's play Jumpstart Bingo. Twitch live chat. Who do you think is going to jump the start? And whilst the chat give their thoughts on who's going to jump the start, I'd just like to dedicate the stream this evening to the late John Motson, who has died at the age of 77 after his 50-year football commentary career, commentating over 2,500 games. Huge inspiration to many of us, and his legacy will continue to live on in the form of those classics that he commentated down the years.
The one that will always come to mind for me is obviously as a York City fan, when we played Arsenal in the cup in the, I think it was the 80s or the 90s, when we beat them 1-0 after a 90th minute Keith Outram penalty.
Brilliant. So many memories for many, I'm sure. Really sad news when that broke this morning, but indeed, here and now, people saying optical, Egger Jr., furious, the person in P7, and Jack makes a very good point, because that is what happened. If one person jump starts, more will, because often you focus on the cars in front of you and assume they've gone at the correct time. So we'll soon see. I mean, I doubt it will happen. To have multiple jump starts in both sprint and race, I bet there are some crazy odds on that. I don't know where Brett is this evening, but his Brett 365 input would be absolutely crazy. And I have seen a couple of request of facts. I've really not prepared anything this evening. I've not long been in the house. So I apologise for that. I'll pay you all back next week for those request of facts.
I mean, I do have one.
Go ahead.
And that is Mr. George Russell has 6 fingers because he's from Kingsland.
That's the best request of fact we've actually had. But request of fact aside, what is factual is that McCabe Sam is on pole position here. Skither, who finished first in the sprint, down in 6th as we're ready to go again in Silverstone. 5 red lights on for the second time ahead of the drivers. And out, and run away, and there's no jump starts this time as McCabe Sam gets a clean start, and Kai having a lot of wheel spin in as high as 5th gear, which means Egger is going to try and make it a VSR 1-2 early on here. Wheel to wheel they go. Furious up into P4. We've had a spin early on for TVA. Allison, a huge crash with the championship leader, Rusty, who's got damage. Rusty is involved at the start, and Skither, who is in P7, will look at this. He needs to score 30 to tie the championship this evening. Joe Murphy fighting away, and Skither is up into P6, but continued carnage on the start again at Silverstone.
Yeah, all I saw was both Rusty and Allison going straight off on turn 1. I don't know whose fault that was there, but both of them have gone off there and will both have picked up somewhat a fair amount of damage, surely.
And Skither might try and hold it around the outside at Cops, but Joe Murphy does a sensational job to hold it down the inside and secure P6 once again. FGE Flo we're on board with now as he looks to try and make his way past Rev Caterpillar. He's been involved in one or two moments, and that is another one. As Sasha Andre will now have a look and try and get past Levi, who is now the leader of the NRX duo. Gets past Elite Risks early on here, needs some big points now, NRX, because they could relinquish the championship lead to PSR, who have a driver in second and a driver in sixth. Oh, and Joey, who looked like he had a lock-up into the Vale chicane, continues his no-assist start with a big spin on the exit of the final corner. Hopefully it doesn't turn into another nightmare for him. Rusty into the pit lane to repair the damage, and it is all gone to pot, is all I'll say about that one. P3, P1, P3, P1, and NRX Rusty is light years away from scoring any points this time around.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for Rusty here now. As we said, he finishes outside the points and Skipper gets the win here. They are tied going into Austria next week, so Skipper will be wanting to get a move on in that McLaren, make his way through the likes of Ogway and Furious and Egger to make his way towards the top, but he's got a McCabe Sam that he needs to get past as well right at the top if he gets that far.
Yeah, McCabe Sam is doing the unthinkable in terms of F1 strategy, starting on the mediums. He's doing the alternate strategy to what everybody else is doing, and will get away early on here. That's why he's using so much ERS to just try and build the gap. Confirmation of the strategies now on the screen. McCabe Sam on the mediums, everybody else bar Rusty is just pit on the hards, and that is why he's setting fastest lap after fastest lap, 2 in a row of course, because he's the race leader. And Rusty almost 40 seconds off the back of the pack. He needs a safety car desperately.
He'll be hoping and praying, but so far so clean between the rest of the drivers, so the likes of a safety car, it can still happen obviously, but I don't feel like we'll be seeing one too soon, I don't think, but who knows.
Who knows indeed. And Furious up into 4th at the moment. BRT, whose lowest points haul this season was back in Bahrain, where they scored 18. I think they're well on course to beat that, because they got, what, 5th and 7th, so that's, oh god, I can't do maths. 4 and 6, that's 10 points. That took me far longer than it needed to. Joey has gone around again. I shan't keep tuning into him because I think you get the drill by now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Joey, obviously it's his first race, he needs to get into the flow of things on no assist, because it is very hard, as we've seen from a lot of drivers. It takes some skill to drive on no assists. I wouldn't even risk it because I would get very frustrated, and that would just be from the first turn.
3-second time penalty for Optical. That's multiple warnings early on. The first driver to pick up a penalty in this race. It took the red lights going out in the sprint, so this is a more encouraging start. It's a big train from Furious all the way down, while Rev Caterpillar is starting to open it up a little bit. Could be down to Joe Murphy here, but Rev Caterpillar finding his way back into the DRS train, and that will be very, very valuable if he can get into it, and he has done. Will we be seeing a move from Skither here as he opens up his DRS, the overtake almost immediately, and wow, Ogween has got no chance of defending that. Skither straight through, not even using his battery. Ogween perhaps just accepts defeat on that one. Our pole sitter with an asterisk because of the 5-place grid penalty for the contact in qualifying between Skither and Levi. Levi has recovered so far to P11. It'll be interesting to see how quick his progress is now that he started to reach the back of the DRS train, and Optical has retired in the pit lane. That won't be a safety car. Much to the frustration of Rusty. But Optical, after an early penalty, it's an early retirement as well.
It's not ideal for Optical here, and obviously that's one of TIR's drivers out of the race now. So all of the faith of that team is on Sasha's shoulders, as Rev Caterpillar has left the session, so I will try and get him back in.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
He's back in.
Looks like he's found my profile or somebody else's. And Levi says thank you very much. He's up into P10. Ali Ferrari, who was brutally robbed in the sprint race. He had a great performance, which was overshadowed by an unbelievably harsh 5-second penalty, is fighting away in P11. Joey with another spin on the exit of Luffields, and will we see now Skither try and make the move and get himself up into P4 using his battery right away, and just as he did on Ogween, Furious has no answer. To the right hand side he goes, into Stub he goes, up into P4. And Levi as well, doing a very similar thing, continues his progress, he's up into P9. Is he still an outside contender for a podium finish here?
You'd never say never. You never say never because of, well, there could be a safety car, there could be a big crash between some of the front runners. So I wouldn't say never until we're about maybe 3 laps off.
Absolutely. Next up for him is FGE Flow, who doesn't have any DRS available to him. Just 2 tenths out from the train, currently trailed by Joe Murphy. But Levi not on this occasion. Making the move.
We'll say fair play to Levi though, because like you say, up 10 positions so far, surging up that grid order at the moment. So we're really hoping to make a few more positions and really be fighting for the podium, like we say.
Absolutely. I don't consider him at fault for the qualifying incident, but ultimately it was him that kick-started the chain reaction, of all those jump starts. And Levi up 11 positions, up into P8 around the outside of FG Flow, who doesn't think about trying to reclaim the position. Sort of running separate races, separate battles in the championship. FGE looking to build on their singular 11-point haul last time out in Spain. And all 11 of those points were scored by the singular entry for FG last time out. Sorry, ZC raced as well, but Patrick Leger, who had a great race last time out in Spain, claiming the fastest lap as well. Flo will be looking at that performance and hoping to replicate it this evening. Just a position off at the moment. He's still, as it stands, scoring 8 points.
It's all spacing out now, isn't it, really? Just that one massive tree in the middle that's keeping any battles really being in the position to happen, but with everyone having DRS, you're not really seeing the advantage on anyone, are you? So I mean, the only advantage that you could probably see is Furious to Skither, but
it's about the driver making the difference now, I reckon, and Levi has gained an awful lot on Joe Murphy and looks to be making the move very, very soon. But Joe Murphy won't make this one easy. It's a championship battle they're in now. BRT, after NRX dropping a huge amount of points in the sprint race, they'll sense this is a great opportunity to be patient and see what PSR and VSR get up to as they may battle later on in the race. And lo and behold, Furious and Joe Murphy could be podium sitters again.
Rusty just sat at the back now, hoping and praying that a safety car comes out at any point. But the way things are going at the moment, it's not looking like anything's going to happen safety car wise. But like we say, anything can happen. But I wouldn't say any battles are too close for comfort to be warranting the safety car on the horizon, really.
Absolutely. I didn't get any safety car probability this evening. If we do have a safety car, I'll try and find that in the little break. But yeah, Joe Murphy at this moment in time, just in a little sandwich between TV8 and NRX. And Levi now down to 3/10. He might think about a move on the Wellington straight. It won't be easy. Meanwhile, McCabe Sam's gap to Kai is coming down. Now 2 seconds from about 2.5, I want to say. So those hards just started to come into play relative to the mediums. Doesn't look like Levi will have an easy move here because he's made a bit of a mistake on the exit of the loop. And Joe Murphy, again, is half a second up the road. Meanwhile, full credit at the moment to VSR Egger, who continues his fine run of league racing form here in the Artemis Esports Championship P3 at the moment. He's a driver that I was speaking to earlier, and I said, Egger, P1, nothing less is acceptable. And he goes, no, actually, McCabe Sam is going to win and I will finish second. And I tell you what, if that happens, and he did say that, and he will
Fair
confirm
play.
it. We'll get him in the party.
At the moment, it's looking like this could happen because McCabe Sam slowly running away with the race now. Kai will be looking to try and close that down and maybe make an over or undercut on him when we come to the pit stops. But right now, McCabe Sam in the driving seat at the top of the race, really hoping that he could take him all 30 points today.
Absolutely. And McCabe Sam, who we last saw 2 weeks ago in Spain, he finished 12th. And that was 1 week on from his Jeddah performance, where he finished 6th with a 5-second time penalty that was applied to a race-winning performance. So he will hope that that doesn't happen again. Just needs to avoid any contact. He'll have it in his mind. He will know when not isn't acceptable.
Rusty setting the fastest lap there. He's really turning on now, wants to catch up as fast as he can.
Absolutely. Still 28 seconds to the next car. There's about a pit stop gap. And
yeah.
Rusty will still have to make another one. So as it stands, Rusty not scoring any points this evening.
No. JT has put in a request of facts, so I have one on standby ready. Only 2 drivers so far this season have picked up points in every race. Which 2 drivers are they?
Is that a live chat question, or is it to me?
Just in general, who are the 2 drivers that have picked up both picked up points in all the races so far?
Rusty definitely has.
He's one of them, yeah.
Ooh. I feel like this is a BRT driver I'm looking at.
Well done, Ben. Smeggy's got all the points, hasn't
Smeggy, yeah.
he? Yeah. What a driver.
No, I'm going to
No.
cheat and have a bit of a
Oh,
look.
wow. Wow, you're cheating.
It's
Before you cheat-
Levi. Wow.
Levi and Rusty, yeah.
Both NRX drivers.
Yep.
They've raced every round. Of course they have.
Yeah.
Should have known.
I will bring up the fact that they are the only drivers to race it around, but there's no guarantee of that, 'cause any of these drivers could have finished in the bottom 5. So, but look at this.
And McCabe Sam is into the pits. We've got our first proper pit stop.
Yeah.
But he is off the medium tyres. He doesn't speed, luckily. But in he goes. Stint on hard tyres to finish off. He'll have the fresh rubber to try and extend the gap. Then it's all about trying to preserve some life to fend off Kai. Maybe his teammate as well. He'll be hoping Egger gets in front of Kai so they can make that 1-2 job a little bit easier.
Yeah. Just looking at McCabe Sam now, so far this season he's on 17 points, so a win here today for him will take him up to 47 points, which would see him as high as 5th, but obviously Levi picking up points at the moment, so he wouldn't move up to a 5th, but he'd be in and around, I'd say, maybe... You're looking at about 8th or 9th, I'd say, because Furious is also picking up a fair few points. But then again, Ogwin is also picking up a few points, so maybe 10th. Maybe 10th he'll jump up to.
Thank you for the follows this stream. From F1 Zen is bad, PSR Stonks, Supply Raptor, hello there Moo, Jam Ham, Fresh as well, thank you. Those are all of our new followers this stream. Thought I'd shout you all out because we're getting close here on the formerly Team AEM channel, now AEC underscore F122, to that all-important 500 followers. That'd be great. Dylan as well, coming in with the 493rd follower. Midfield Maestro with a 494th. We're getting close, guys. If you yet to press the follow button, why not? Let's make it this stream that we hit 500. Give it a share. Do what you want to do. Doesn't bother us. But McCabe Sam is out there. And he's come out of the pocket of clean air, though we will have JH up the road in just a moment's time. And then we need to get around on much fresher tyres. Rev Caterpillar in for an early pit stop off of the hards onto the mediums. That's following 12 laps, which is very doable. You can run to the end of the race from here. It's just whether it will be a strategy that brings him further up the points paying positions.
Like I said, fair play to the Valor drivers so far. We've got Ogwin in P5. Allison, obviously it'd be higher if it wasn't for the incident right at the start, but we know how good Allison can be as a driver, so I feel like once the pit stops have happened, he'll slowly start making his way up, but just saying fair play to what Ben has built there so far. It's a brilliant team so far. Obviously sat at the moment in 6th, but I don't really think that sums up where they are, because they haven't had the best of luck so far, but you know, their driver pace and strategy-wise, they have been one of the top teams so far.
Absolutely no pit stops on this lap from any of our front runners. NRX Levi now ahead of Joe Murphy. That was a battle I missed from calling out followers, but you've got to do what you've got to do in this day and age. And it could be another move here, because TVA Ogwin has lost DRS to Furious in front of him. So here comes Levi using plenty of his battery, pulling to the inside, and Ogwin breaks early, sees Levi through, and Levi from 19th on the grid is up into 5th place without, well, he's into 6th if you consider McCabe Sam. But 19th to 5th in, what, half the race pretty much? It's an incredible drive so far.
Yeah, he's done brilliant. Up 14 positions. You don't see that very often from drivers, but Levi's done it, and fair play to them. You can see why NRX are at the top of that drivers of the constructor standings, and Levi's up there on the drivers as well. So Levi is a very, very good driver, and he's really showing it today.
And here we go, pit stops happening. Joe Murphy triggering an undercut here, as he will try to get ahead of Ogween and maybe even re-overtake Levi. Flo, Sasha Andre and Elite Risks all into the pit lane as well. So 4 teams on standby in the pit lane as we now start to see the magic of Formula 1 happen. McCabe Sam will jump those positions. He did clear JH on the track, I believe, without too much hassle. So away we go again then. A crucial undercut here for BRT and Joe Murphy. And what is, yes, a championship fight. There is no denying that. As he exits the pit lane, hopefully no spinners. Easy to wheel spin on cold tyres up the hill. We saw Grosjean do it. I believe it was the 2018 practice session on what was a horrible weekend for Romain Grosjean.
Did he ever have a good weekend? Let's be rightly honest.
Or was it 2019? I don't know. Can't remember. It was quite hot in the UK both years.
Gee, I thought you were about to say something else then. You say Grosjean hot, I thought you were going to say something else.
No, of course not. But Skither is right on the back of Egger actually. And he's got to make the move soon, has Skither. They stay out for yet another lap. Levi speeds! Levi has sped into the pit lane, and Rusty picks up a penalty for multiple warnings. So once again, NRX massively on the back foot. And Joe Murphy, who triggered the undercut, has maybe indirectly applied a little bit of pressure to Levi there, knowing he has to gain every single thousandth in the pit lane, and Joe Murphy might well jump him on track and have a 5-second buffer with the penalty. That beautiful fish helmet rounding the final corner now, and he'll see the drivers to his right in the pit lane. He'll hear those engines idling and revving up as they gun it out of the pit box. Here he comes then. Where is Levi in all of this? Miles up the road. That's actually quite anticlimactic. It must have been a mistake from Joe Murphy on the outlap. And here he goes then. Will he get past TVA Ogween? He goes down the inside. Ogween has cold tyres, of course. And that was a very good move. Sensed the opportunity and took it.
And that is Joey again. As we've got Kai coming into the pits now.
That's Kai, not Kai. Yep. In comes PSR Kai. And it's, of course, the battle with McCabe Sam that we're all looking out for. McCabe Sam who pit early off of the medium tyres. PSR Kai now having the medium tyres to go on and try and close the gap and bring us a grandstand finish to this grandstand event. Ali Ferrari, penalty for multiple warnings, a few now up and down the field. We'll get to those in a moment, but how big is the gap between McCabe Sam and PSR Kai? It was 2 seconds when McCabe Sam pit. It's still about 2 seconds, but PSR Kai struggling to get those tyres up to temperature and will lose about half a second as a result, maybe even a full second when it comes to the end of the Wellington Straight. 2.8 is the gap. Is this doable? Three seconds to try and close in real.
Joey coming to the pits now. I believe he is retiring.
Yep, looks like it. Furious comes in as well. I believe I got Furious and Joe Murphy mixed up a little bit. Rain
Rain.
retires from the... Oh, that's a crash on
It's
track!
crashed, it's crashed.
That's a crash! It's
Safety
a full
car.
safety car! Full safety car deployed! FRT Rain has crashed at Cops Corner. And we see our first full course caution of the evening. Furious already down the pit lane. I don't think it will make too much of a difference because Skither and VSR Egger have already passed the safety car and a Delta will be in play here. Joe Murphy speeds into the pit lane. A big moment there for BRT. Goodness me. Did somebody actually say lap 18? No. No, he's not predicted that. Oh, he has as well. Chester, do get in touch. If that's not a Toblerone reward, I don't know what is a Toblerone reward.
Just want to point out, Joey is still going.
Joey is still going because he's seen that there's a safety car probably just before he's got to his pit box and gone, you know what, I might continue now.
I mean, he was still in full contention of racing by the looks of it. No,
I can't believe Chester.
In the big games tonight, Barcelona have just taken the lead against Manchester United.
Brilliant, that's amazing. That really has made my evening, actually. Skither into the pit lane. Avoid spinning. Speeding, sorry. Oh my words. I'm just so bewildered at Chester saying safety car lap 18. That's incredible.
It's a Lewandowski penalty.
Will we see soft tyres going on? No, we don't. Onto the mediums they go. I don't think they've got an extra one because of the sprint format. I think they could have done it, you know, some soft tyres. McCabe Sam into the pit lane now as well. Furious will inherit third place. McCabe Sam, that has really ruined his strategy.
Was McCabe Sam on a two-stop anyway?
Medium hards, I would have presumed,
So
but he's now onto the softs.
Hit again.
He's dropped to 7th, he's dropped to 8th,
Yes.
he'll drop to 9th, and he'll
Why
drop
has
to
he done
10th.
He was on for a win. He's just why has he done that? Literally, if he didn't pit then, he would be first. He'd be leading the safety car. But he's pit onto the softs.
Interesting. Interesting indeed, and it looks like PSR will have the upper hand. But what can VSR Egger do now from second place? And I would really like to see him win, don't get me wrong. But I'd also like to see the Skither win to level up the championship. I'd also like to see BRT's first win of the season as well.
Just point out, it would not be leveling it now because Rusty is now in the points in 15th. So
He's in the
picking up the 1
points.
point. So it will be a 1 point lead, so it would still be very interesting.
Unless Joe Murphy can stick with him. Rusty doesn't get any moves done on those old, well, I say old, sort of crap hard tyres.
Rusty's got a 3-second time penalty. That is
does.
a good shout.
It could be level. It could be level. We'll hope it is for the tweet that goes out.
Content-wise,
Yeah.
we want Skiver to win and Rusty to not get any points. There's no bias between anything, obviously. It's just content. We want content.
Content. Joe Murphy third in the championship. Not well. He will score something as it stands when he catches up to the safety car. We could have a straight dogfight into the second half of the season between Rusty and Skither.
Brett is now in, so if anyone wants to put any request to Brett's in, he is here.
Ah, he's arrived.
To be fair, like Brett said, if it wasn't for the sprint race and the safety car, he probably wouldn't be here.
Rev Caterpillar pitting as well. He's gambling on a set of soft tyres. And Rusty now scoring a couple of points as it stands. Joey is so far behind because he spun 67 times. Good evening, Brett. Hope you're well, as with everybody. Let's see if we've got any new followers in the time. No. 13 minutes since our last one. We're on 494 now. If we can get to 500 this evening, that'll be absolutely fantastic, as I've said. Oh, you mean Joe Murphy? Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. It's a bit of a mystery. Take your picks then, because it looks like we'll be getting going towards the end of this lap, assuming... I don't think Jemmy will catch up. Actually, that was too bold of a statement, wasn't it? One more lap then, which gives you an extra lap to pick your winner. Will it be Skither? Will it be Egger? Will it be Furious? Kai with a 3-second penalty picked up under the safety car. Will he be able to appeal it? That is the question. Then and yourself saying Rusty to go straight on at turn 1 again.
That's my request to Brett.
Ah. Might be good odds on that, actually. And this time he can't complain about crossplay. Sorry. That wasn't me who complained. This is your gap to leader and tyre situation.
6-1. It's already up in this race.
Oh my word.
Up on lap 1, he took Allison with him.
And on a night where we've already seen a sprint race, we could have another 5-lap sprint as Sasha... What's going on? Can't be overtaking under the safety car, gentlemen. We don't want people hitting each other under...
Obviously.
Neutral conditions.
If you hit someone on this, you're getting a fairly hefty penalty. So
we've already seen contact when you'd least expect it in qualifying between Skither and Levi. If you are just tuning in this evening, both of them got 5 place grid penalties that were applied to the Grand Prix. Skither took the race win in the sprint, picking up 10 points. He could be on for another 30, and to perhaps, depending on where Rusty finishes, could be outside the points with the penalty situation. Ty, the championship this evening, was 40 points back to start this race, and he may well score the full 40 to bring it level. Those are some pretty crazy odds. If Request to Brett was active earlier, you'd have been able to put some money on that, but you can't anymore. Meanwhile, safety car split line coming up, and we are going to be racing at the end of this lap. 5 laps then to determine a winner of the British Grand Prix, and it could be a new winner. We've had Rusty, we've had Choco, we've had Smokey, all taking wins in the first 4 races this season. It looks like it's time for somebody else to add their name to the AEC Tier S Hall of Fame and become a race winner. And he's going early here, Skither. Bolting into Stowe, but he's had to slow down again because he's got to wait for the safety car to come fully into the pit lane. He's got really early, has the American. He's not messing about. He'll give Egger a bit of a dirty air wash through the final couple of corners, perhaps catching him napping. But I tell you what, Egger has got a really good restart to match that of Skither. Just 3/10 in it. Furious up into third, a second covering the top 3. And when DRS is enabled, this will make for a fascinating battle. Kai with a 3-second time penalty into 4th, but he'll dearly want the track position in case he can appeal it. Elite Risks fighting away with McCabe Sam, who's on the inside through Aintree, and he's back up into P9. 2 drivers in front of him. with a penalty could well be in range of Kai as well. So he's up into P6 as it stands. The driver we thought would have a really good chance at the race victory with his unorthodox medium-hard strategy, which he felt the consequence of through the safety car on lap 18. Correctly predicted, by the way, by Chester. An unbelievable prediction to pull that off. But Egger, now 6/10 behind, hasn't desperately been using ERS either, so it's still a fairly level playing field out in front. I could just picture him on his live stream with his glasses, smiling, because he smiles at everything, trying to get this race win. And it would be a brilliant moment and a brilliant reaction if he was to do so. But Skither, who's a serial winner on Xbox and across the entire of F1 League Racing, could be taking his latest honour. Oh, Levi! Levi! Levi's around!
It's all come crumbling down for an RX again.
Next, let's get back. Sorry.
And he's retired in the pits. He's not happy.
What can you say about that? Rusty up into P12, make that P11. Elite Risks, one of the ones to watch for Summit League Racing Team, has had a spin. He's now out of the points. Rusty up into P11, could soon be P10 as he goes wheel to wheel with Allison. Further forward, McCabe Sam tried to make a move as well. Rusty goes the long way round, down the inside at Lovefield. He runs wide, almost colliding with Allison, who goes the long way round to Lovefield. They almost make contact, they do in fact, but somehow both of them are still pointing in the same direction. JH is looking to go around the outside at Copse Corner. If he could do that, give him the Overtake of the Season award. But Allison and JH still going at it. JH went off the track. How on earth have they kept that going? Allison almost tapping the rear of JH. Rusty into 10, JH into 11th, Allison into 12th, and Joe Murphy for BRT down into 13th. Furious though, his BRT teammate could be taking his second podium finish of the season to add to the second place he did in Saudi Arabia. Fastest lap for Skither and DRS enabled on this lap, and it looks like Egger now only has a slim chance of taking victory, but a P2 would still mean a lot for VSR and McCabe Sam trying to add more points to their tally, and boy do they need it after a whirlwind of a race. He's up into P7, he's in range of PSR Kai, so you can consider it P6. He's in the DRS of Flo. There's a good chance he's on for a top 5 finish despite his crazy two-stop strategy. I'd consider that a threat.
Tom, that'd be welcome. That would be very welcome right now. Not gonna lie.
Penalty for JH. Let's put the penalties on for you. That is how we're looking. Of course, I'm sure you want to see the tyres as well, which is very important. McCabe Sam is 25 metres off the track. Very surprised he hasn't picked up a penalty for that, but clearly has the warnings to play with. And Ali Ferrari and Sasha Andre, a great move there by Ali Ferrari, who as it stands will keep hold of the P8 because of the penalty situation behind him. That was a very naughty extension by McCabe Sam, but he's just playing with what's possible in the Formula 1 game. Oh, wide goes FGE Flo, so McCabe Sam darts to the inside, and he's got a good run here to try and get himself up into P6 and what would be net P5 on the road. But Flo is defending, he's flashing away, as is McCabe Sam, who goes down the inside. So much grip, superiority on the soft compound of tyres, and through he goes into Brooklands and up into P6. Joe Murphy and Rev Caterpillar having a go further back. This is a good battle to watch between two determined drivers who are trying to make amends for dropping down the order following the safety car. Rev Caterpillar on the inside at Cops, but Joe Murphy will try to hang it in there. It's softs versus mediums again, as we're seeing a lot of. down the grid, and Rev Caterpillar holds on, but that penalty will relegate him a position, 2 positions in fact, because Elite Risks is still rearing the field at the moment. 2-second gap now Skither has built on VSR. Egger and McCabe Sam is down the inside of Algueen, and that now is a top 5, and it's another track extension. Send him off, ref! Send him off! That's 2 in 2 laps. I don't know how he's getting away with such shithousery. And it is shithousery. And Furious, is this going to be his second place finish of the season, following the one he got in Spain? I said Saudi Arabia, that was Joe Murphy. We're on about Furious, I'm easily confused. He'll have one more go into Stowe. Oh, and those are 2 track extensions from Egger and Furious. I might have left it on regular corner cutting and not realised, to be honest. I haven't, just for the record. But Furious, he's going to have one more go, as I just said, down in towards Stowe. Skither has ran away with this, just as he has in the sprint, but this is the battle on everyone's mind. Egger flashing away, he's got to defend the inside. It's a reminiscence of the top tier championship battle, where Egger lost a podium. Around the outside goes Furious. Oh my word, that is sensational from Furious to go around the outside on the final lap. Meanwhile, Skither is going to cross the line as a race winner in Artemis Esports Championship Tier S. Furious takes consecutive P2 finishes. Egger takes a podium in 3rd. McCabe Sam recovers to P4 after a late charge on the soft compound tyres. But what a move from Bunga Racing Team's Furious 5185, who takes their 3rd podium of the season. And he holds on to a Christmas wreath for some reason. But Skither dominates from, I can't even say start to finish, because he was relegated 5 positions because of his grid penalty that he himself caused, to be honest. But he makes amends, and PSR go wild. Your results then are as follows, including the total sprint points, but that doesn't correlate to what we're running. So on to the results then. It's Skither, P1, with the fastest lap clear of anybody's. An entire weekend worth of racing clear of anybody's. Furious in P2, an incredible achievement again for Bunga Racing Team, who still hold on as potential championship candidates. Egger and McCabe Sam finished 3rd and 4th. A miserable day for NRX Rusty, who finished down in P11 in the end, but still scoring a few points, which keeps them afloat at the top. They are overtaken ultimately, though, by PSR in the championship. It's not quite level going into Austria, but the fight is back on. Lennon, I really appreciate you being here, and I know it wasn't easy for you. I appreciate that. But any final words on that race? Because that was bloody brilliant.
It was good. It was a very interesting race. Obviously, it was very interesting when the safety car came out, because it shaked everything up. Obviously, McCabe Sam coming into the pits to pit when he would have inherited the lead. So, bit of a weird choice from him there, because I feel like he would have been up there battling for the win. But hey ho, that's racing. He's made that choice, and unfortunately, it's come back to bite him to an extent.
Absolutely. We're just 1 week away from the Austrian Grand Prix from Spielberg, which will be our 3rd European race in a row. And we'll still have 3 more after that. So we are deep into the European season. We're deep into the championship fight. we thank you all very much for watching on a day where PSR have become your new championship leaders. Take care. Bye bye.